Let me see who's here. Everybody. Jason, what's going on? Good morning. I wish there was a way I could just put up a list and just bring it in, but obviously there's people that are lurking or whatnot. Jesse Mack, good morning. Kylo Green, good morning. All right. Yesterday we played some Destiny 1. Haven't touched that game in about 7 years. I want to say it's 7, 8 years. I think the last time we played it was just a couple of months after we played it up until 2027 when Destiny 2 came out, and maybe like a month or so after we stopped. Waterbear, thank you very much for the continued membership support. Appreciate that. Where's my... How come my... There we go. I was like, how come my buttons aren't working? Appreciate that. Thank you very much. What's going on, Bat? So we played Destiny 1 last night. I loved Destiny 1 when it came out. When we first started Generation X Gaming, that's what was the podcast. The podcast originally started because of Destiny, right? We started the podcast because of Destiny, and it morphed into what GXG is now today. We used to spend half the show, every show, for like 3-4 years just talking about Destiny, giving it criticism, giving it, props, tearing it down, seeing what they wanted to do. It talked about the game because we actually were passionate about the game. And then I lost my passion because they kept nickel and diming me, not for money-wise, but just bad mistake after bad mistake. But I absolutely love Destiny 1. But saying that, after playing last night, I can truly say that I am not in love with Bungie or Destiny anymore. Like last night, it was fun going through the strikes and whatnot and reminiscing and doing the nostalgia stuff. But man, I have no interest in continuing playing that or playing Destiny 2. Waterbear asked me yesterday in Discord, he goes, if Destiny 3 came out, would you play it? And I said, no, I wouldn't. I said, Sony would have to be taking over 100%. Bungie would have to be completely gone. And then they would have to prove to me that Destiny 3 is not like Destiny 2, right? And make it better than what it was. But I have no interest in Destiny. But it was good to go back to play it with Sarge. All right, Kylo says, I saw you on Destiny on my friends list yesterday. I took a double take at it. Yeah, no, we went back and played it. It was fun. It was good reminiscing and stuff like that. Travis says, people will complain no matter how many games they do. Maybe get an indie game, a dev, who is just in Skyrim but boring as his game is Insult Obsidian. Maybe people will remember his studio name, but I doubt it. Waterbear says, Disney moved your buttons again. Disney moved my buttons again. Bad says, did you see that Atlas robot of Boston Dynamics? Yeah, we're going to talk about it. There's a whole 60 minutes video on it. Waterbear says, you can't wait for Destiny 3, right? What's going on, Worlds? How you doing, man? All right, let's get started with the first thing that they talked about, which was right before the show started. I saw it on Twitter. Microsoft, Xbox Wire, says Developer Direct returns on January 22nd. It says watch Fable, Forza Horizon 6, Beast of Reincarnation gameplay direct from the studio. So it looks like these are the three main things. And if that's the case, then they'll show about 10 minutes of each one, if it's like a half hour or so. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as low as $5. Also, above chat, there is a TTS Monster link to make it easier. If people would like to do that, you want to hear your statement out loud, you can do it, but it's optional. You do not have to do that. Developer Direct returns on January 22nd. Watch Fable, Forza Horizon 6, and Beast of Reincarnation gameplay direct from studio. So in 2026, it's going to be an incredible year for Xbox players. You might even call it a fabled year. Okay, to celebrate, we're kicking off with the fourth installment of the Developer Direct broadcast on January 22nd, bringing you news, new gameplay, insights directly from incredible teams working on titles coming this year. Presented by the game creators themselves, Developer Direct will once again give you inside look at not just the games, but also the studios working and to bring them to life. Fittingly, on Xbox 25th anniversary year, this includes the return of some of the most legendary franchises, which rub shoulders with the brand new title from one Japanese most beloved studios. The show includes not one, but two titles from Playground Games, which is the UK studio bringing you the first extended look at Fable, as well as the debut of gameplay for Forza Horizon 6, and we'll also be taking a trip to Tokyo to visit the legendary Game Freak, offering the first in-depth look at the Beast of Reincarnation, which is also revealed at Xbox Game Showcase last year. I don't remember what that game... I don't remember which one that was. Right, you can also tune in at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, or 6 p.m. UK on January 22nd to see all the latest on. Now, Fable Playground Games welcomes players back to the fairy tale land of Albion, with the first in-depth look at Fable was one of 2026's most anticipated titles. Devs from Playground team will unveil the magic, mischief, and awaits players in the fresh new beginning of the franchise, including the first look and some stunning new gameplay. Of course, the core themes of Fable will all be their choices, consequences, drama, action, British humor, and of course, chickens of all reimagined of existing fans of new players alike. I want to say this up front. I am very interested to see how Playground Games does Fable. Okay, I'm also not going to take Fable and start comparing it to Fallout 3 or Starfield or Obsidian's games. I'm comparing Fable to Fable. And every Fable that we've played, that I've played, from the original Fable to Fable 2 to Fable 3, they've always hit the bar and then did it a little bit more, right? In some way, shape, or form. If it was game mechanics, if it was story, if it was what you could do in the world, right? So if this Fable comes out and is like back, graphically, obviously, it's going to be much better than the original Fable, and maybe the other Fables as well. But gameplay-wise and based of what it is, I'm comparing Fable to Fable. I'm not going to be comparing Fable to other games like Black Myth Wukong or anything like that, right? Forza Horizon 6, the Forza team of Playground Games will also share their deep dive into much-anticipated Forza Horizon 6 as the open-world racer takes players to the beautiful and contrasting landscapes of Japan. The segment will also deep dive into a very first look of the gameplay, including reveals of the new features and how Japan comes to life in the stunning new installment. My son's very excited about this. He was a big fan of Forza Horizon 5 and 4, actually. So he's very excited about this, and we'll see what happens. This is kind of weird to me, though, right? Because Fable and Forza Horizon 6, made by the exact same team, like, I don't know what Xbox is doing, right? And I'm not saying this is good or bad, but Obsidian came out with Grounded 2, Avowed, and Outer Worlds 2 was all within like 12 months of each other. Same studio, just lumping out all their games all at once type of thing. And now Playground Games is doing the exact same thing with their two games in the same year. Just very interesting the way they're doing it, right? Beast of Reincarnation says, join us for the delve into the Games Freak intents of one-person, one-dog action RPG. For the first time, Game Freak will also reveal details of the protagonist Emma's innovative plant manipulation, action, and gameplay with her canine companion, Ku. The Beast of Reincarnation is also profound and dangerous world of unfolds post-apocalyptic Japan, discovers the development secrets behind the creation and the Developer Direct. So stay tuned for more social channels, for more Developer Direct airing on Tuesday, January 22nd at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. I don't know if we'll be live. Then. We might be able to be. It all depends on how long it's going to go for. But maybe we'll be live and watch it live. If not, we'll talk about it on GXG on that evening. So what is this game? I don't, honest to God, I do not remember what that other game was. The Beast? Let me go to YouTube real fast and see if there's, well, obviously there will be, but let me see what this game is. Oh, right. It's funny, I'm watching the PlayStation trailer, but I don't remember this.
輪廻の獣は汚れを吐き、あらゆる生物を蝕む。
I don't remember seeing this at all. No, I know it's not my type of game. I just don't remember watching this or seeing it. Yeah, Water, I've never been a person that just because I'm not interested in this type of game, I've never like not shown a game that I'm not interested in, because I know there's people in our channel and out there that like this stuff, so maybe they've never seen it before. I just don't remember watching this trailer before.
Fujigo Emma, お前こそが輪廻の獣を滅ぼす刃となる。
So it's interesting that they're showing it at an Xbox event. I think, and the first trailer to pop up was a play. When did this? 6 months ago. Yeah, I don't remember it. I don't remember it at all. What's going on, Aku? All right. So there you go. The Direct will be happening on Thursday, January 22nd. Next thing we're going to talk about, might as well go to the other Xbox stuff, that is Elder Scrolls Online. Okay, Elder Scrolls Online yesterday had a stream, about a 45-minute long stream. I watched the whole thing, but this is a nice little breakdown here. So Elder Scrolls Online gets a paid battle pass system 12 years after launch. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, give you my thoughts and opinions as we read them for the first time on stream, and then we get your thoughts and opinions as well. If you guys like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. So Elder Scrolls Online gets paid battle pass system 12 years after launch. I can't, my mind hurts to know that this game has been around as older than my son. Right, I remember getting this game originally on Mac, and then I got it when console, because it was on PC first. Right, and Elder Scrolls Online players everywhere are digesting the recent news regarding the imminent arrival of the game's first paid battle pass system in more than a decade. A recent revelation regarding the Tamriel Tomes follows the developers admitting that the popular MMORPG had become stale and too predictable. Okay, the answer to all this is a shake-up of delivery of content, cosmetics, unlocks, and exclusive rewards in Tamriel Tomes. This new Battle Pass system follows the traditional model of having both a free and paid versions, and seems like each of this is bursting with rewards, but not all players are happy. Okay, Elder Scrolls Online is changing forever. In a recent supersized blog post, the team at ZeniMax Online Studios explained that major changes coming to Elder Scrolls Online, a multi-million user fantasy MMO, surfaced in 2014 and became a cash cow of products since then. But then the concept is about to be broadened by a new battle pass mechanic. Now, mind you, this game is 12 years old. Okay, 12 years old. It's made its money. They've squeezed it out as much as possible. There's people that stop playing a game 2 months after a game. I'm looking at you, Battlefield 6 and other games, right? This game has people playing it nonstop for 12 years. Now, obviously, it's not pulling in like League of Legends numbers or anything like that, but they've always constantly made money, and the people that leave, the other people pay for expanded storage or whatnot. The player base is still there, let's just say. Okay, so on April 2nd, the first Tamriel Tome Reed Battle Pass will arrive, dubbed the Tome of Dawn and Dusk. There will be a paid and free version of the tome. ZeniMax has promised that plenty of goodies, including free in-game currency, will be unlockable via the free version. The premium version of Tamriel Tome will also unlock more exclusive rewards, but won't offer players any advantage beyond better cosmetics. Okay, as you can imagine, you'll pass through pages of Tamriel Tome, unlock rewards as you go, eventually completing every tier by ticking off the game's events, challenges, and special seasonal LTMs. Okay, in addition to cosmetics, in Tamriel grant players a consumable research scroll, gear upgrade kits, currency, which is Gold Coast Bazaar trade bars and seals, and collectible weapons and skill styles furnishings. Okay, endeavors and daily login rewards are being removed from Elder Scrolls Online in Season 0, which also most of the rewards being ported into the Battle Pass system. For those unclear on the topic, the Gold Coast Bazaar trade bars mentioned above are also new. The type of currency that also can earn and spend exclusive Gold Coast Bazaar store to purchase only Tamriel Tomes items. ZeniMax has quick to outline that ESO Plus members benefit further from the Battle Pass system. The premium subscription service has run for several years and is not being forgotten with this new feature. Those with ESO Plus can also earn tome points and boosted rate. Plus, you also earn tome points to the premium tome. Is it tomb or tome? Tome, right? Tokens for real-based and membership purchases with the also long enough membership. ESO Plus users are effectively get free premium Tamriel. Okay, so how do you rate these changes? So they're fundamentally changing everything where if you, and correct me if I'm wrong, of those of you that are following this as well, this is the way I understood it. If you have all the footage, all the content, you still have all the content, right? If you bought the game, this applies. You get all the free updates after this comes out. So let's say you don't have 2 of the expansions that came out, okay? Then you still won't have those, and you can purchase those. But they opened up more free ones as the years go on. So there's a lot of content there for free for people that already own the game, that don't pay a monthly subscription. Okay, because you don't really need to pay a monthly subscription. You're just getting, they got rid of that a long time ago. But now, if you're on PlayStation Plus, if you're on Game Pass, all of this is included once it drops, okay, except for the actual paid expansions, which, again, come out for free the later they go down, right? Travis says, DLC is only $30, I thought, or you can say that double both games in DLC. Yeah, so all the stuff once March 1st hits or whatever it is, that will all be free going forward. So there is no more DLC drops. All the DLCs that drop now are all going to be free for people that play the game. They're changing the visuals, updating the visuals. They're also changing the combat, but they're not changing the combat like Krebsy wanted to change the combat, right? They're changing the combat fundamentally for each of the classes and whatnot to make them more unique and more popular, where people want to play the way they want to play or whatnot. They're trying to make classes a little bit more class-based. But yeah, so Elder Scrolls Online makes sense, right? You're putting it on Game Pass, or it's on Game Pass, it's on PlayStation Plus. You're trying to get more people to come in and pay that subscription and get that extra money month over month, and you're constantly doing a battle pass, or you're constantly doing seasons and stuff like that. So very interesting to see that Elder Scrolls 12 years later is finally doing what the other battle passes systems have been in the industry for about a decade now anyway. So they've held off as long as they can. The game is on its, if you want to say, the last hurrah. Remember that the company wanted to make another MMO and Xbox shut that down. So now they have to be like, all right, well, what are we doing up until whatever's next down the line? What do you guys think? Do you think this is going to get you to come back to Elder Scrolls Online if you were a person that played Elder Scrolls back in the day? Is this something that you, too little, too late, you don't really care? Is this something that piques your interest and goes, oh, well, now that everything is going to be free moving forward, maybe I'll jump back in, start a new character or whatnot? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe if you like what I do here, and check out some of our other videos. All right, let me see what you guys are saying here. Warbear says, anyone know where I can buy a cheap version of Cyberpunk DLC for PC? Probably CD keys, right? I'm not paying $60 on Steam. Altard says, how about making combat better? Because right now the combat is between enemy and my sleep. Yeah, the combat's always been... I kind of wish they made the combat better, but I don't think they are. But maybe they will, because now they're listening to players, supposedly. Eclipse says, I own the game and all the expansions. I just hate the damn fighting mechanics. Travis says DLC is only $30 or $29.99, I thought. Let's see here. And they're free if you own the subscription. And they're free if you own the subscription. I think they're all free, though, right? Because after a certain period of time, let's say the new expansion came out. I forget what the last one was called. And let's say 8 months later, it goes free, right? When the next expansion came out, the one before always went free for people, or at least for the last couple years. Let's see. ESA don't need to pay Battle Pass system because they're also doing it to trying to get you in their ecosystem for new players. Sure, Jesse. Yeah. But the reason they're doing it is less for ESO and more for Game Pass. You understand? This is the way the business model works, where they want you to go to Game Pass. They want you on PlayStation Plus. They want you to keep making those subscription models because they got rid of the actual subscription model. You don't have to pay to play ESO. But if you don't want to get Game Pass and you don't want to play on PlayStation Plus, then you can purchase the game. And if you purchase the game and then you get all the DLCs or whatever else it is, then you're paying up front for that money. And then you can just keep coming back for the Battle Pass type of system. They want you in the ecosystem regardless, but they want you in the ecosystem of paying subscription model. And if you're not going to pay the subscription model, then just buy the game. But they'll get you with the Battle Pass, regardless if you buy the game or if you're playing on Game Pass or PlayStation Plus. Cisco says, I will not return to ESO, just not my thing anymore. Yeah, I kind of moved on myself. I actually loaded it up yesterday, and they gave me a bunch of free shit and a bunch of stuff, and the thing hasn't even updated yet. And I was like, I have a character that's like 457 or whatever. I'm just like, I was like, maybe one day I'll go back and play the story, because I didn't play like the expansion stories and stuff like that, a lot of them. So maybe I'll go back, but I'm not interested in this, right? They got rid of the daily logins and stuff like that, which is good in this new update that's coming out, which is good because I don't feel like it should be a homework assignment. Ray says, I don't want to deal with people. Sell me an offline version. Ray, there's already a game for you if you want to go not deal with people. Like, go play Skyrim. Waterbear says, I never played ESO. I was always the Final Fantasy online guy. Maybe the new mechanics would interest me a bit. I don't think you would like it as far as because the combat's not that good. Waterbear says, I doubt it though. 12 years old, first game playing it, leaning towards not trying it myself. Aku says it took like 2 or 3 years for the expansion to be free. You get them automatically for free with a sub or buy them. Good model in my opinion. It's not that long, Aku. It literally isn't that long. So every time a new expansion came out, the expansion before went free. Eclipse says you don't have to deal with people. You can just play the whole game by yourself now. Well, even with the new expansion or the new update that they're doing, you literally can go through the entire game, play by yourself. There's different modes. You could do raids by yourself or whatever, dungeons by yourself now. So that actually might bring a lot of people back because they might be like people like Ray, where they don't want to deal with people. Was 2 or 3, but that was early. And then, yeah, the game would be soloed. Yet, I remember, God, I forget which ones it was, but it would happen pretty fast after, well, pretty fast. It probably was like 12 months. Every time the new one came out, the one before it was free. Or they would do some sort of deal. If you haven't been around for a while, they're like, oh, you get to download one for free. You have to pay Xbox Live on console. Why it's free on PC. I'm confused why people like you don't have to pay the on live because it's part of Game Pass now. So if you're well, you still have to pay for online. Same with PlayStation, right? Same with PlayStation. And before you had to pay a subscription service when it was on PC. I know because I had it for Mac when it originally came out. Then they dropped the subscription model, and then it was just free, and then you could pay for the extended what's it called, storage or whatnot. Kyle says that's my problem with the new Skate game. Every week they have a challenge to do goals with other people. I can't stand it. It is funny that they make these games co-op or multiplayer or whatnot, but they force you to try to they try to force you to be a community. You know what I mean? It's like, if I want to play with people, let me play with people. But if I don't want to, stop forcing me to. Eclipse says, I will say that Elder Scrolls Online has one of the best MMO stories. That's originally the reason I played in the beginning. And then if people are playing with me and we have buddies and we go into a dungeon together, cool. Now that everything could be soloed, once the update comes out, I actually might go back and play it. Let me see what the let me see what the updates are real fast. ESO update. Game updates for online. That's the content pass. Dungeon pack, gold. Now this is ESO classes. No, I want to go to the new stuff. All right. It says this year begins on Update 49 on March 9th. Thieves Guild, Dark Brotherhood, and Imperial City DLC move to base game. From now on, all updates will release simultaneously on PC and consoles. Season 0, this is the first ever Season 0 ESO launch on April 2nd, and adds Night Market, Tamriel Tomes Battle Pass, Gold Coast Bazaar, PvP progression system, overland difficulty options, up to 3 difficulty options, balance and visual updates for Dragon Knight, Werewolf, and two-handed weapons. The Night Market is a new group event zone. Players can also join one of the 3 Fargrave factions and compete against each other for unique rewards. A limited time PvE-based event that starts on April 29th and will return again in the future. Tamriel Tomes is a battle pass system with 3 tiers, 1 free, 2 premium, replaces endeavors and daily login rewards, and grants you a variety of rewards, including the new trade barred currency. Right, the Gold Coast Bazaar is a new in-game storefront that allows you to buy new and old items from the trade bars. Trade bars place event tickets. Event tickets will be removed from the game. Okay, they said they will give you based on what you have, a fair trade in value, whatever. Overland difficulty options are finally coming to ESO. You can also choose from 3 difficulty options for more gold XP for now as rewards. In Season 1 comes with summer and adds new story quests and Thieves Guild. Okay, new Sage Vault system, dynamic world events, High Seas of Tamriel naval battle events. I must have missed that. That's interesting. New Trial and Crimson and balance updates for Warden class. Season 2 comes from summer and adds solo dungeons, Moonhunter Keep, March of Sacrifices, Dynamic Storms, Skyrim large-scale world event, balance updates for Sorcerer class, Night Market returns, and Greymoor added to the base game. Right? So basically, I'm not playing this again until probably November if I try it again. There are several more changes planned for 2026, like functionality of skills, attributes, and respecs will be moved to UI. The Guild Trader listings goes back to 30 days, account-wide outfit slots, faster mount training, up to 3 upgrades at the same time, ability to buy more mounts for gold, new starter quests and vampire and werewolf. Crossplay is also being worked, but it also takes more time before it's ready. ESO Plus price remains the same and receives a few additional benefits like earned tome points, the accelerated rate of 1 premium tier token for every 12 months of ESO Plus, and you can also use as you like more transmute crystals and more. Seasons are changing everything in ESO in 2026 by bringing new features, quality of life changes, and much needed class rework. So there you go. There's all the stuff that is coming. Yeah, so some of the stuff they're talking about is the naval battles and stuff. That could be interesting. I wonder if can you operate a boat by yourself? Do you need other people to go in with you? Is there going to be events on the actual water that you're doing, like sort of like Dungeons of the Sea type of thing? Can you do it solo? That'd be interesting to know if you could do all that. Says there's any speculations on what the surprise game at the developer direct might be. Surprise game. Maybe the DLC for Starfield? Maybe. Altered says, yeah, the story's good, but man, I'm falling asleep in combat. 80% of the activities you do in the combat related. You're like this in the story. Then you're like, all right, it's time to do the action base. Don't worry, Altern. If it's on PlayStation, you're playing on PlayStation, the patent that we talked about yesterday, it can just play the game for you. Don't worry about it. Aku says, once I get through WoW, ESO clean run is on my list. Cliff says, hopefully this update adds crossplay. That would be also awesome. I don't want to start over on the Xbox. Well, apparently there are crossplay, but the crossplay is not happening until Season 2, probably. Crossplay is also being worked, but it will take more time before it's ready. So maybe not even this year. Hero says, if I can transfer my console account to PC and a class change, I'll play it. Well, you're probably going to want to wait for the cross play. Well, cross progression. I don't know how that's going to work, Hero. Morning, Wonder Rose. Altern says, Sony AI, play ESO for me, but don't do the story. I want to know what happens next with the lady and the vampire. What's going on, Crowded? Crowded says, Mike, did you enjoy your walk down memory lane last night? I did. In the very beginning of the show, Crowded, I said we played Destiny 1 last night. I love Destiny 1. I love it. Okay. But at the end of playing Destiny 1, I realized that I'm truly not in love with Destiny anymore. Right? Like, I'm not going to go back and play it. I had fun playing with Sergeant Aku when we did strikes and reminisce about the stuff. But that was awesome back then. You can't take that away from me. I love Destiny, but I have no interest in Destiny moving forward. Like, I'm not interested in Destiny 2, going back to play Destiny 2. I'm not interested, maybe on stream, maybe a year or two from now, maybe we go back and play Destiny 2 as a reminiscence type of thing. But I have no interest to go back. It's like a bad breakup, right? You think you're interested in the person still, you call them up, you look them up, and you're like, yeah, no, I'm good. I've moved on. But I did enjoy it, yeah. Kyle says, I was thinking about getting in a grindy games like RuneScape. Botting would also get you banned. So it's a new acceptable to have AI play RuneScape for me while I'm at work. I mean, sure. I mean, I won't judge you, Kylo. Do you ever try Brighter Shores? Did you ever see me play Brighter Shores? We played it, I don't know, it was the end of 2024 going into 2025, I think it was. Or was it end of 2023 going into 2024? I forget. Brighter Shores is one of the guys that made RuneScape, started another game. It's pretty grindy. It's actually pretty fun. I have like 140 hours into the game. I want to play Star Wars The Old Republic MMO, but just thought that it would happen in the same universe. There was a sequel trilogy. It lost a lot of charm. I always want to go back and still continue playing the Star Wars MMO, but I never go back. I was just saying if I get banned as a kid botting on RuneScape, but now it's okay 15 years later, got it. Yeah, I mean, times change, you know what I mean? What's the deal with Where the Wind Meets game I'm hearing about? Is it really that good? Well, if you ask Water could tell you everything about it. He's got like 700 hours into the game. I have 30 minutes in the game. It seemed interesting, but I played it right before I went on break, but I haven't played it since. But not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying that's what I'm doing. I hear good things about it. Altered says, now that you can ask Copilot to play Brighter Shores for you, 30, you can just talk to chat. That's true. It's very true. Hero says, are you going to make a return to Towerborn? Yeah, we could do that. I mean, did they add more stuff? I still haven't finished the main storyline for that, but I pretty much did a lot of things in that game. I was like maxed out with my build, but it kind of got to a point where I like hit a wall. I was getting gear checked at the higher tiers, and then I was waiting for people to help me so I could team up with them so we could do that other stuff. But we never had a group of people to do it. So I was playing with randos, and the randos would, like, if they die, they just leave the game. So it kind of was a turnoff to me, but I really liked that game. Robic says, I've been playing Guild Wars 2 lately. It's like the flow of how you level. Jay Breezy, what's going on? Co-op is terrible in that game? In which game? In Brighter Shores? In RuneScape? In which one? Cod says Soulframe is free to play too. I'm going to do both. I'll try one. Soulframe was fun. I like Soulframe. We actually might play Soulframe a bit this year. Oh, Where the Wind Meets. Co-op is bad in that game? Isn't it more of a single-player, online-esque, co-op-esque? All right, let's go from Elder Scrolls, and we'll continue with our down Xbox road. So we were talking about Avowed, Grounded earlier with Obsidian saying like what Playground Games is doing, where they basically are just coming out with all their games all at the same time. It's kind of weird. Okay. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, have conversations. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Now, Avowed, Grounded developer, Obsidian reportedly working on 4 new games. Okay? And it says, I can't wait. Obsidian Entertainment, one of Xbox's most recognizable developers, subsidiaries, reportedly has 4 upcoming games in the works, which could also be a boon in the parent company. Xbox has faced a lot of criticism over the past several months about the arrival of 4 new games from Obsidian. Also do a lot more repair than with Gaming Public. Now, founded in 2003 by 3 former employees of Black Isle Games, just before the latter studios closed, Obsidian has been driving force behind many top-rated RPGs over the years, establishing itself early in the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, Sith Lords in 2004, and Neverwinter Nights in 2006. Since Obsidian was acquired by Microsoft in November of 2018, the studio has continued to constantly release hits like Outer Worlds, Grounded, Pentiment 2025 was the biggest year ever, with the release of Avowed, Outer Worlds 2, and Grounded 2. Well, Grounded 2 is not released yet, but yeah, they put it out there. Obsidian reportedly has 4 games lined up for Xbox. And if it has it for Xbox, it would probably be for other game systems as well. Now, with 3 big games having launched within the last 12 months, Obsidian doesn't seem to be resting on its laurels. Okay. It's also a new report from the industry insider suggesting that a lot is happening at the development studio. Jez Gordon in the Windows Central recently reported that 4 more games are being currently worked in the works of Obsidian. While we didn't provide too many specifics on the content of the games, he said it's also heard that there'll also be a mix of smaller and larger titles. There's also possibly some of all of these games could be revealed at the Xbox Direct Showcase on January 22nd. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if they just announced them, because they just got done with 3 games. Like, just fundamentally think about this for a second. How big is this studio that they can work on Avowed, right? Avowed, Outer Worlds 2, and Grounded 2. They're still working on Grounded 2, right? Outer Worlds 2 and Avowed are done. And now they're working on 4 other games. If they showed, I mean, I guess they could show early concept art and what they're doing and stuff like that, but we're still like 3-4 years away, all right? I would assume. Anything can happen from now to then. But in the meantime, fans can still speculate about what kind of games might be coming down from Obsidian pipeline. One franchise that could be game release under Obsidian's development is Fallout. A lot of people are speculating this, right? A lot of people are speculating about Fallout. If it's a Fallout remake, if it's New Vegas 2, right? If it's Fallout 5, right? Everyone's like, how is Bethesda working on Starfield? How are they working on Skyrim? And how are they working on Fallout? Well, maybe Obsidian, the magic that they do, maybe they're working on Fallout 5, right? So, which is also owned by Microsoft, which has also been in charge of franchise for close to 2 decades. And although fans are wondering when Fallout 5 will be coming, Bethesda is certain to be at the helm. However, many members of the crew of Obsidian have been working on a Fallout game since early days. These include Obsidian CEO, recent Obsidian Fallout series creator Tim Kaine. In December could also be very well an early sign that the developers will get another shot at making at least of the game in set post-apocalyptic America. I mean, we've speculated. I said maybe Tim Kaine came back because he's working on the next Fallout game, right? Or Fallout New Vegas. Bethesda Game Studios executive producer Todd Howard may provide another clue in the hints of Obsidian return to the franchise. During an interview that was also shared in early December, Howard was asked about potential Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas remasters being recreated. His response included a statement that Bethesda is working on a whole bunch of stuff. And you also know, we also look forward to the day when we can reveal them. That's not an outright commitment to both remasters, but also what Bethesda produced Fallout New Vegas. Obsidian Handheld is also development, and the fact that those comments were shared just days after Kane's announcement of return to full-time work at Obsidian may be turning some heads. Okay. Aside from Fallout, there's also a lot of possibilities based on Obsidian's past releases, not to mention any brand new IPs that may be revealed. A new KOTOR game could probably be ruled out, or can probably be ruled out, since Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic release will be handled by Argonaut Studios. Another South Park RPG is likely also off the table, since the Stick of Truth storyline has been carried over for 2 different games by 2 different developers, neither of which are Obsidian. Still, both The Outer Worlds and Grounded gained enough popularity, earned sequels in 2025, and there hasn't also been a new Pillar of Eternity game since 2018, which could make them all the candidates for another sequel along with Pentiment. So there you go. You know, the question is, and I'll ask you guys, do you think that Obsidian is working on sequels to any of the games, right? Did Outer Worlds 2 do well enough? Maybe they make an Outer Worlds 3. Maybe that's the next game they're working on, one of the 4 games they're working on. Maybe Avowed did well, right? We don't know internally if it was successful or not. We know publicly that a lot of people didn't like Avowed. I personally liked Avowed. I thought the story was okay. I thought the game was good. It kept me entertained for, 60-something hours, right? I didn't think it was the best game they've ever created, but I thought it was a good game, okay? The worst part about that game was the goddamn god would talk like a super slow-motion sloth, you know what I mean? I was just like, but Avowed was good, not great. So do they make a sequel to Avowed? Do they make another sequel to Outer Worlds? Obviously they're working on, would you consider Grounded 2 complete? I wouldn't. It's an early access, right? So is that one of the 4 games? Does that count as, because Grounded 2 is not even out? Is that part of that game before it releases? Who knows? Do you think they're working on Fallout New Vegas remastered? Do you think they're working on a new Fallout New Vegas? Do you think they're working on Fallout 5? Lots of questions here. I kind of think they're working on Fallout. If it's Fallout 5, I don't think it's a remaster. I do think it's something new. I don't think if Tim Kaine came out of retirement, or back to Obsidian, I should say, to work on a game, I don't think he would come back for a remaster. I think he would come back for something better than that. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our videos. Thanks for watching. How many will be canceled? I mean, all of them could be canceled, but Obsidian's got a good track record so far. Crowd also says, I'm more excited to hear about Fallout Remake. Well, I think that's already in the works. I don't think that has anything to do with Obsidian. Big Mo says they work in small teams. No, I get that, Mo, but New Vegas is a pretty big game. But to your point, if you look at Sandfall and what they did with a small team for Expedition 33, if you look at a small team of what they've done with No Man's Sky, I mean, Obsidian's like a bunch of wizards over there, man. That's a lot of games. I mean, just think about this for a second. If they worked on, right, which is Avowed, Grounded 1, Grounded 2, they also worked on Outer Worlds 2, and they have 4 other games in the works. Okay, that's 7 to 8 games they've worked on within a decade. Now, just think about that for a second, right? Just think about that. If it's 8 games in a decade, that's a crazy turnaround. Crazy turnaround. Considering most companies get 1 game out in 8 years, and Obsidian's just like, it's crazy because Pentiment came out in what year? 2020, 2021? So they really have 5 or 6 games already came out in the last 5 to 6 years. Basically, they're pumping out a game a year. Crowd says, I wanted an Outer Worlds, but it just didn't work for me. The map design just isn't good. Exploration sucks in those games. What's going on, Argus? Krebsy says, don't waste resources on Pentiment 2, in my opinion. Well, that would be a choice on Microsoft and Obsidian's, right, Krebsy? Because obviously it's their choice. But what I'm saying is we don't know what the price was compared to what it sold and if that was worth it. So if they could turn around a game like that pretty fast for a low cost and then put it on, that would be a win for them. But I didn't play it, so I don't know if it's good or bad. Tim Kaine said he's not working on what people expect he is. I mean, okay. What were some of the other guys that said they weren't doing certain things and then they did? Do you know what I mean? I mean, obviously, he could say it and we could take it as face value. Jason says, Outer Worlds looks so generic, I never bothered. I liked Outer Worlds 1. I didn't play Outer Worlds 2. Krebsy says, Pentiment can be good, but it peaked at 1.2K on Steam. Well, according to Splitgate, Steam's not the only number there, Krebsy. Hey, we don't know what it sold. Do we have a number of what it sold? Do we have a number? Hold on. What is was it budget? How do you spell Pentiment? Pentiment, Pentint. Okay. Budget for Pentiment. There is no official published budget figure. Okay, so it says labor of love, a massive AAA investment despite the high quality, unique scope. While rumors of 130 million exist, there's no way that game cost 130 million to make. No way that game took 130 million dollars to make. I don't believe that for 1 second. Not 1 second. I say that game is less than. Right. Well, what's the Pentiment development time? 3 years in total, which is about 2.5 years of full production starting in May 2020, following a pre-production that began late in 2019, leading to November 2022. There's no way. There's no way. Okay, wait. Pentiment development time. Pentiment number of devs that worked on it. No way. No way. 13 people made that game. 13 people made that game. There is no way that game cost $130 million to make. No way. That's a rumor. And that's where it'll stay. This has to be under, I want to say 50, 40, $30 million to make that game with 13 people in 3 years. Right? There's no way it cost $130 million to make Pentiment. And if it is, that studio should close. Right? There's no way that game cost $130 million to make. I would think because let's say that game costs around the same amount, right? Let's say that game costs about the same as Expedition 33 at $10 million. Okay, 10 million, 13 people, $10 million. Okay, 15, $20 million out in 3 years, and it made its money back or it made profit in that time. 13 people, there's no way it cost $130 million in 3 years. I don't see that. Especially for the style of game it is. There's no way. So I can see them making a Pentiment 2. Again, based on the budget and how fast of a turnaround they can do in 3 years and make that money back. Yeah, there's no voice acting. South of Midnight budget was way higher and only peaked at 1.4. Again, we don't know the numbers, though. We know the Steam numbers. right? We don't know. You have to know what the internal number they wanted for people to play it or try it on Game Pass. That game was 100% made for Game Pass. The official budget for South of Midnight hasn't been released, potentially over $100 million, despite its shorter 10 to 12 hour leading of discussion about $40 price tag, right? Yeah. I can believe they spent about $100 million, but South of Midnight, devs on project. How many people? The exact total number of people worked on South of Midnight isn't publicly listed, so we don't even know how many people worked on the. All right, well, how many employees at Compulsion Games? $80 to $100. 80 to 100 people work at Compulsion Games, so you would assume that 80 to 100 people worked on South of Midnight. But then again, there's also like we'll say 80 of the 100, because we'll say 20 people are part of like human resources, accounting, whatever. So we'll say 80 people. 80 people worked on it. I can imagine that being over $100 million or close to $100 million. Let's see. If they spent $100 million on South of Midnight, it was a complete waste of money. Yeah, I don't think they did, but I can see it happening with 80 to 100 employees, more than 13 employees. Saying that Pentiment cost $130 million, again, rumored, right? That's crazy. Ray says South of Midnight is good, but it looks like a $20 to $30 million project. Now, if that's the case, right? If that's the case, and we don't know the sales, but if they sold, what was it, $40? Let's see. Let's go with your number. Let's say it's $30 million. Again, we're all just making up numbers here. We're just $30 million. Divided by, let's say 250,000 copies sold. $250,000 times 40 is $10 million. They would lose $20 million, right? So that wouldn't work. So they would have to get about 1 million people, right? If they got 1 million people to pay $40, then they would make a good profit off that. Do we think 1 million people played the game? I don't know. Let's see. South of Midnight. Steam charts of South of Midnight. Let's see what they've estimated. Yeah, see, so I would assume, and again, we're assuming, because of these numbers here, 1,438 people, it says roughly over here about 128,000 people bought it on Steam, right? And I would say about maybe half of that bought it on Xbox, okay? So let's say half of this, so you're talking about 178,000. We'll give them 200,000 people that bought it, paid $40 for it. And then how many people played it on Game Pass, and how long did they play it on Game Pass? And then you have to know the mathematical equation of the amount of people that played it. If they only played it for that 1 month and they paid $15, you would have to have that, triple the amount to add up to like 1 copy or 2 copy, you know what I mean? So I don't think South of Midnight made money. obviously, because it would need about 550 to 700,000 copies sold if it was a $20 to $30 million game. $100 million, there's no way they're fucking making their money back. 20 to 30, you need about 700,000, 750,000 million copies sold or played or whatever. Budget for Pentiment should be like 2 to 5. Yeah, it could be. It 100% could be. Are you going to try Westlanders when it comes to Out 30? I might, Jesse. I might, because I know I was interested in it when I first showed it like 2 years ago when I saw a beta or early access of it or early talks about it. And I was like, oh, it's like Red Dead Redemption online. But it's a co-op. It's a survival game type of thing. I might. I like those types of games. Crowd says they could have made an animated movie that many people could have go see instead of made that niche story game. Not smart. I mean, hindsight's 2020, right? Crowded. Here's one thing I'll say about South of Midnight. I hated the combat. Hated the combat. I thought it was wedged in there at the last second. It just was bad. The actual puzzle part of the game, the platforming, just if it was just a puzzle game and no combat, I think it would have done better. I think the combat was put in there. I think the story was fine. I know a lot of people are talking about, I didn't finish the story, but the story that I partially played, I thought it was fine. I thought the voice acting was good. I know a lot of people thought it was because it was DEI, because of, what was it, Sweet Baby Inc., right? But what that game is, if a person wants to make a game, make a story, tell a story, make a game, sell a game, I mean, great. Let them do it, right? They chose poorly, but hindsight's 2020, looking at it going, oh, it would have been better if they just made a television series or an animated show. I guess. I still think it wouldn't have been that popular, right? They took a risk on the art style. They took a risk on what the story was. They took a risk on a lot of things there. I think they did a lot of good things with South of Midnight. Combat, not one of them. Jason says game only got popular for the art style. Gameplay was nothing special. Yeah, I think if it was just, if you took that as made it just a platformer, right? I think it would have been fine. Eclipse says, I liked everything about the game, but the combat, it was trash. Yeah. Yeah, the combat, if you remove the combat from the game, that game to me is a much better game. Just a story, trying to find the clues, trying to find your grandmother or mother, whatever it was, right? I think that would have been fine. I think the combat system in that game was put in at the last second, and it wasn't very good at all. Eclipse says, yeah, make it like Psychonauts. Yeah, that's all they had to do. They could have taken the combat completely out of that game, and I think it would have been fine. You'll always hear me say it when we watch games for the Game Awards or Summer Game Fest. You'll always hear me in Sarge. When we see a game, we're like, oh, good, they took a risk. They took a risk. But a lot of games got shit on because of the DEI, and there is proof of being paid and being wedged into certain games, right? People got off-put by that. But if you're a fair person, right? I didn't pay for the game. I played it on Game Pass, right? I gave it a shot. I thought everything, like Eclipse said, everything was fine except the fighting mechanics. And the fighting mechanics turned me off big time. The boss fight, the regular little arena things. I was like, yeah, I could deal with the story, right? I could deal with the story. You could like a story or not like a story. But the combat, for me, I was like, oh, it's awful. It was awful. The jumping mechanics and the platforming in that game was fine. I thought it was fine. Did it take it to the next level? No. Crowd says High Guard is at risk. Yeah. Yeah. Big Mo says, didn't mind the combat. Nothing special, though. It felt just tacked on, Mo. I felt like they put it in there because whatever. They were like, what do we need in this game? Oh, let's add some combat. The combat was just, it wasn't good. That combat didn't add anything to the game. Zero to the game. You could have literally did the boss fight where instead of fighting, you could have made it like you're jumping around and hit certain things and it shoots the boss instead of doing the fight that it was where you're just constantly doing the exact same thing over and over. Okay, here it comes coming out of the water. Okay, I got to dodge left. Okay, I got to dodge right. Like, it just didn't make any sense. Just enough says it should have just been a walking sim. It could have just been a platformer. It could have just been a platformer. Aku says, High Guard is dead. It will get players because of the free-to-play, but give it a week, and it's going to have very small player base. I'm a little confused on how come we haven't heard about anything since the Game Awards. We're like 2 weeks away from this thing. 2.5 weeks? Are they going to show something else before it launches? Or are we going to get, we're delaying it just before it? We heard the feedback. We heard the feedback of High Guard. We appreciate all your fans from our game, but we're going to hold it back 3 months. Is that what's going to happen right before launch? Because we haven't heard shit. Roic says they at least took a chance and tried different things. Some of the work, some didn't. Looking at the combat. Correct, Roic, and that's my point. I'm okay with them trying what they tried, but they could have just kept the fighting out of the game. In my opinion, take the fighting out of South of Midnight, it would have been a much better game. The combat took away from what the game is. Make it a platformer, it would have been awesome. It did not need the fighting combat. 100%. Oh, that's another thing. Music was great. Yeah, the music was great. Kylo says delayed or canceled 100%. I don't know if they cancel it. Not yet, Kylo. Step 1 is delay it. Step 2 is release it late, then blame the fans, and then cancel it. Yeah, that's the master plan. That's the blueprint. You got to go with the blueprint. Midnight, probably another example of the separated teams working on combat so it doesn't get good and connected. Perhaps, Z. Perhaps. It literally felt like we're missing something. What do we need for this game? They're like, oh, let's add combat. Well, combat's a little hard. Let's make it in just little areas of combat. Little arenas. Altern says, High Guard will do Kingsmaker and delay the game 1 week before release and never speak again. You know that you just brought that up? I forgot that Kingmaker did that, and I almost forgot that Kingmaker existed. I totally forgot about that, Altern. Aku says, we heard you. Quote, weapons didn't feel amazing, so games delayed for 2 months while we iterate it. Yeah. You know it's coming. Step 3, delay into GTA 6 launch and then blame GTA 6. Oh, yeah, that's actually good, too. We can see that. Roic says, I really want some light, no fire news. Maybe, hear me out here, Crowded. Oh, I'm sorry, Roic. What about the surprise game at the January 22nd Xbox event is light, no fire? Right? Maybe, who knows? I don't think so. I think it is going to be Starfield. The expansion or something. Crowd says, no, cancel. It's a finished game. They're going to try to make something back. Kyle says, don't forget the apology post. Oh, yeah, no, the apology post is there. You got to put the apology post out there. We're delaying it by two months or undisclosed time. We've heard you. Thank you for your feedback. We love you. Thank you so much. We missed the mark, and we'll try the best from here on out. Force has a light, no fire video. I don't know if there's new news. No, it's not. I watched it. He was just saying like where it is, but he was also comparing what they did to No Man's Sky about what they've implemented in No Man's Sky, and he was saying that they've said it was linked as far as the mechanics and stuff. And Krebsy has talked about this. I've talked about this, where they're doing certain things in No Man's Sky to test it for light, no fire. All right. Let's see. Blame GTA release, then GTA gets delayed into 2027. Yeah. All right, let's go with from that. Let's go to the next story. That's Compulsion. That's a Beast. We got that one. Next one is Ubisoft. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. I read the story for the first time, give you my thoughts and opinions, and then we get your thoughts and opinions in chat. All right, so Ubisoft has closed its Halifax studio and claims the decision is unrelated to the recent unionization. Now, mind you that this is a little weird, right? Because Grand Theft Auto has been, or Rockstar, I should say, is put forward the exact same thing, right? People got fired because they were unionizing, they said, right? And now Ubisoft has closed Halifax, and they're saying it's a decision unrelated to the recent unionization. Now, one was talking about unionization, one just got unionization. And I said this years ago, okay, maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, because people were talking about unionization in the video game space, and I come from a union. All right, I was part of the local 600 inside the camera department inside of the film industry. Okay, and when I just got into it, I had to go on strike. It was a strike in 2007 when I got into the union. Okay, and I found out real quick, unions are good, but unions are bad. They do good things, right? And I said most productions in movies. Now I don't know how it works for video games. Okay, when you do a union shoot, you don't need everybody on the production to be a union worker. You only need about 30% based on the amount of the total group, right? Crew members. So if you have 100 people, you need 30 people of the 100 people to be part of the union, right? Type of thing. Okay. So if you have 10 people, you only need 3 people, right? Type of scenario. And I said that if this happened in the video game space and people want to become unionized, they would just hire less people. They would make a percentage where not everyone in the studio is part of the union, right? Now, again, I don't know how it works in that field. I'm just giving you this example of my side of the field, okay? So it says 70 roles are affected at the Assassin's Creed Rebellion studio. It says Ubisoft has closed the Halifax, Canada studio, which also will result in around 70 employees losing their jobs. In an email sent to the staff on Wednesday, reviewers of VGC, Ubisoft said it decided to close the Ubisoft Halifax as part of the company-wide cost-cutting restructuring measures. Halifax is also a studio behind mobile title Assassin's Creed Rebellion. Only last month, Ubisoft Halifax workers formed a union, with around 60 workers signing up for the Game and Media Work Guild of Canada. Ubisoft claimed the decision to close Halifax was made well before the decision and made it fully respectable employees right to unionize. Okay? And again, I've also talked about this. I was like, great, unionize, and they just won't hire you. They'll hire other people. So this is another example that happened where I just got into the business, right? Just moved in at the time with my now wife or whatever, right? We were looking to buy a house and I needed the money and then I couldn't work because I was on strike. Okay. Well, you could be a scab and you could leave, right? You could leave and get work. But guess what? I'm a union worker. I'm not allowed to work, right? So what do? They call up people and then say, hey, we have a job for you. And what they do is they undercut the people, right? Because if, let's say, my union job was $350 a day, they could hire Joe Bob from the local college and give him $100 a day. He'd be glad to work for $100 a day because he's just looking to stack his resume, get real world experience, and he gets a job, makes a name for himself. Maybe he gets a connection down the road, right? And then me, who's been in the industry for a while, I can't work because I'm part of the union. Well, sort of the same thing here, right? You're part of the union now, and you're like, oh, cool, I got union, I got benefits, I get all this stuff, we get 401k, and we get dental. Holy shit, this is amazing. Thank you so much. And they're like, oh, by the way, we're closing the studio, right? Companies will find a way to get around working with people that they have to pay more money for or have to pay benefits for. And they're like, 60 workers in the big grand scheme of things. And again, I'm not saying this is what they did. I've said this in the past before. These people have done this. And they'll just close a studio down, or they'll close a production studio down, or they just won't do the project and they'll hire some other people that are not part of the union. They're going to do what they have to do to make the actual thing, right? So it says the CWA Canada has said it will pursue every legal resource to defend the union members impacted by Ubisoft Halifax closure. In a statement sent by the game developer, he said that the timing of the decision raised many questions for which we do yet have answers. And it also would demand information from Ubisoft to understand why it decided to shut down the studio. Today, the news is devastating and said that CWA Canada President Carmel Smith will also pursue every legal resource to ensure that the rights of the workers were respected and not infringed in any way. Over the past 24 months, Ubisoft has undertaken company-wide action to streamline operations, improve efficiency, and reduce costs. A spokesperson told VGC, as part of the Ubisoft has made a difficult decision to close the Halifax studio. Okay, 71 positions will be affected. They're also committed to supporting impact team members during the transition with the resources, including comprehensive severance packages and additional career assistance. Assassin's Creed Rebellion, a free-to-play strategy RPG launched in 2018. However, the revenues have steadily declined, prompting the recent decision to end live operations and stop producing new content for the game. It's been a turbulent year for Assassin's Creed publisher, which also late last year opened a new subsidiary part owner by Tencent, Vantage Studios, which also oversees the biggest franchise. Tencent holds a 25% stake in the new subsidiary and will act an advisory role, with the final creative business decisions resting on the co-CEO, Christopher Drenis and Charlie Gilmont. Ubisoft claims it's shifting towards a less centralized operating model and attempt to give creative teams more ownership of the brand they work on. So again, everyone thinks that the union is going to save them. And it could. But most of the time, it probably won't save you because they can have ways around it. And again, they would rather pay you your severance package and stuff like that than keep a studio open, paying for the lights, paying for the insurance, paying for the taxes, paying for all these other stuff. They're like, you know what? Let's just close it down. We'll pay them off. See you later. And they'll move on to something else. But these are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Do you think that Ubisoft closed the Halifax studio because of the recent unionization? Or do you think it's just ironic that they happen to close this because of the declining sales of this particular studio with their particular game of Assassin's Creed Rebellion, which is a free-to-play game? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like to do this, if you liked our videos, check out our other videos. Jesus, I can't talk. Thanks for watching. What's going on, Sarge? They don't like unions. Unions can be good for people, but companies don't like unions. They don't. If a movie studio didn't have to hire union people, they wouldn't. Unions represent people that have been in the industry and are good at what they do, but not always. Okay? But they've been in the business and they're very experienced. So they look at those people and go, well, we want to make money. We want to make sure these people are making money. We want to take our cut from these people. Okay? And these are the best of the best. And if you want to hire the best of the best, then these people are part of the union. Right? So the union is always trying to hire people. But again, in the film industry, you don't always have to be a union. Only a percentage of people have to be a union. So producer, director, if you have named talent on the shoot, then sometimes you have to have a director, a producer, a cinematographer that's also union. That way, you don't get what happened on Alec Baldwin's movie, right? He went all independent. There was no union there, right? And then the people that were part of the union took a job that they didn't have to be union. They were still getting paid or whatnot. And then stupid shit happens because people don't, dot the I's, cross the T's and stuff like that. Just Enough says unions will say you have a monopoly on the skills required, and any Joe Schmo can do the job. It won't up. Yeah. Well, the unions want to get the people that have the skill, and they want to use those people with the skill to land the jobs, and it's a whole big thing, right? A teamster, right, a person that brings the gear and stuff to the set, they're in a truck and they'll pull up and they'll be like, "Where do you want it?" And you're like, "Put it over there." And you're like, "Is that where you want it?" They're like, "Yep." And you're like, "Okay." And they'll drive up, they'll put it in park and pack it right where you wanted it. And then once they put that shit in park and they shut the truck off, that's it. They're like, well, you got to move the truck. And they're like, It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you to move that truck. If you guys want me to move that truck back over there because now you've decided to change locations, well, that's not what they told me. This is my day rate for this, and this is what it is, so you're going to have to call my rep. And then they have to call the rep, and the rep calls up and says, yeah, okay, we've negotiated. You have to move the truck. And they're like, okay, I'll move the truck, right? Like, that's how shit works. Sarge says this is the basic economics. If everyone was also in the union, they would also be too expensive to hire and cost of the project would go up. 100%. That's the bullshit, bro. That right there, of course. But that's what it is, right? That's why unions are good, but they're also bad. Mr. Z says Halifax was doing mobile games for AC, and Rainbow Six could be a need for their product is over. But the union, along with the lazy, unneeded employees, equals closing. Jesse Mack says Ubisoft already dying, plus because of the union says have enough and close down. Yeah, probably. If unions didn't do that shit, there wouldn't be issues. Yeah, but I can give you an example on the other side, Sarge, where if I'm not on a union shoot, sometimes you don't get catering. You don't get actual normal lunch. You actually work 17 hours, 18 hours because there's no one telling you that, hey, we got to stop production if you want to work around the time slot, right? There's a whole bunch of reasons because if there's nobody keeping track and keeping someone accountable, it works both ways, right? So if I'm on a union shoot, we get 12 hours, 12 to 14 hours, okay? That's minimum. After 14, we get time and a half. After 16, we get gold time, okay? If a production had its way, a production studio will keep you there for 24/7. We just need one more shot. But one more shot might take 22 hours, okay? So a union says, hey, wait a minute. We got to call it because we need a turnaround, because we need to drive home. They need to sleep, and they need to come back tomorrow and do the exact same thing again. But the production company looks at that and says, well, that's going to cost us an additional $30,000 if we do that. And they're like, all right, well, how much will it cost us if we go an extra 2 hours? And they're like, well, it'll only cost you $15,000. All right, let's do that instead. Okay, so don't tell me that the union is the bad thing, because the other guys are just as bad as the unions, and they're both positive and negative sides to each of the things. Hence why you have union workers saying, no, I'm not going to move the truck because you told me this is where we're supposed to be, and this is where we're staying. Just Enough says unions are a net benefit, in my opinion. Speaking of catering and unions, I remember doing a security on the Bad Boys 3 set. Man, you're talking about food spread. It was more food on that set that they also eat in a buffet. Yeah, but they also paid for that, and they also give money to people in the industry, like in the local area, right? So they're bringing money into the city, into the state, into whatever. Right? Where the other people that are doing low budget stuff are trying to take advantage of as many people as possible. Underpaying employees, not paying location scouts, not paying a bunch of other stuff. Crowd says the unions are just playing the same game as the business owners. That's it. They're all just trying to protect and get their own, right? These guys are trying to make it as the least amount of possible. These guys are trying to make the most money as possible, right? And then there's a middle ground. You want to hire the best? Well, then this is what you have to pay. All right, I've been in the industry for 20 years. Guess what? I'm not going to give you a day rate of $100, right? My experience in the industry, I'm not giving you $100 a day for my time, right? You want $100 a day? Hire a guy right straight out of college. He might be the next Spielberg, or he also might be a fucking idiot and doesn't know what he's doing. And then at the end of the day, you might not have a movie because he forgot to hit record, or he burnt the he lost the footage somewhere in between. It's up to you. You could take the low guy and pray that you actually have footage at the end of the day, or you can hire someone that knows what the fuck they're doing. Ray says a union worker can see another worker breaking his back, and instead of helping the worker, they will say, this isn't my job, and move on. Well, I'll tell you, here, perfect example, Ray. I'll tell you what happened, right? I've told this story before, and I'll say it again. So before I was in the actual, in the union, I was in school, and we were on the set of Monster, which is the movie with Charlize Theron, and it was filmed in Tampa, okay? we, as students, went over there and worked as internship for things. So I have uncredited, but I worked on Monster back in the day. Okay. So we went over to Tampa and we worked on the actual thing. Okay. And while we were on set, okay, we're just production assistants or whatnot. A camera guy who had the Panavision camera with the lens on it that maybe weighed about 50 pounds or so with the camera. I'd say it's about 80 pounds total or whatnot, right? His crew kind of left him. He was by himself and he fell over, right? He fell over and it's sort of like you're holding the beer, right? Now he's pinned. He's pinned with the camera on top of him and he can't move, okay? I'm the closest to him. I'm a noob, okay? I'm a student and I'm like, holy shit, this guy needs some help. So I come over and I'm like, let me help you. And I have to grab the camera so the man can get up so I can give him the camera back. I grab the camera, hold the camera. I might have held it for, 15 seconds. Okay. 15 seconds. I pick up the camera. Now, mind you, he's union. He's responsible for this camera, right? I'm holding a, $750,000 worth of equipment in my hand for 15 seconds. Okay. Now, if something happened and I dropped that camera, I trip, I fall, I did something to the lens, to the camera. Okay. That shoot is fucking done, right? There's not a million cameras out there, right? This is a Panavision camera that they only have, I think, about 12 in existence. Okay. And I'm using that. I'm holding that camera for a couple seconds. He gets up. He says, thank you. DP, which is the director of photography, comes over to me and reams me out. I'm just a kid who was helping a man up holding the camera. But from their standpoint, which I didn't realize this, because when I was a college kid, I was like, what a fucking asshole. Like, what the fuck's his problem? But then when I got in the union and I'm responsible for that camera, no one is touching that fucking camera. Okay? No one's touching that camera. Because if someone breaks that camera, it's my responsibility, okay? And I'm responsible for that camera. So that camera is not being touched by anybody. You can't move that camera. You want that camera moved? I move that camera. Not because I'm being like, oh, I'm union and I have to touch the camera. No, I'm touching the camera because I'm insured to touch that camera, okay? Where PA boy is not insured for the company to touch that camera. So going back to me helping the guy, if something happened in that 15 seconds, I'm screwed as a person if I broke that camera because I can't afford that camera. I'd be paying payments or up the wazoo. They're insured; they would get their money back, right? But I would be in trouble. He would be in trouble because of what happened. So now, you saying union workers can see another worker breaking his back, and instead of helping the worker, he will say, "This isn't my job," and move on because of stuff like that. There you go. I'll probably go work on getting my SAG license and literally 12 hours away. I know I get a ton of money for just working a few hours on set. Yeah, but working as an extra or stuff on set, you're there. You could be there for 12 minutes. You could be there for 12 hours. You might be on camera. You might not. They never let them do overtime because I think they also have to pay 3 to 4 times the amount per hour. I saw on Twitter that the woman who saved Toy Story 2, since it was also maternity leave, and had a copy of it since they also deleted it at the studio. They laid her off like 5 years ago. Company are ruthless. They probably should have yelled at the guy because he should have known better. How would you know? It doesn't matter, Crowded. It doesn't matter because, again, they weren't there to see what happened. Right? They weren't there to see what happened. He just stumbled over. He was pinned. He couldn't get up. I came over and picked it up, handed it back to him right away. When they saw me have the camera, they don't know. They look at me and go, "Why is this fucking student touching the camera?" It's just what it is. Krebs says, I just asked ChatGPT what the longest continuous film shoot, and it's Eyes Wide Shut with 400 days. That's longer than Lord of the Rings? Because Lord of the Rings was, I think, 2 years straight. But they were also shooting multiple films. Eyes Wide Shut was one film. So I guess that would make sense. Most I was on was 120 days. All right. Let's go with the next story. Next story. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Nvidia GeForce Now is coming to your Fire TV stick later this year. Nvidia has also a native Linux app in the pipeline. Remember what I said, where this is the future. Nvidia GeForce Now, they just make an app, they put it on a television set, they put it on the Fire Stick, okay? So when Microsoft years ago decided they wanted to get off that island of console island, and they wanted to go on that new island, they want to be one of the first ones to get there, okay? That's what they were doing, because they're competing against Nvidia, they're competing against Steam, they're competing against all these other guys, and they're trying to get there, okay? So now, Sony and Nintendo are still over in this island, okay, in console land. PlayStation's dabbling in over here, okay? But Xbox is now third place in consoles, and they might be first place or second place or third place in the cloud realm, okay? And also, just in this digital space, right? So instead of now dealing with PlayStation and Nintendo, Xbox or Microsoft is dealing with Steam and Nvidia. So it says Nvidia is bringing GeForce Now cloud gaming service to Amazon Fire Stick TV devices with a new native app. Announced at CES, the app will also give GeForce Now subscribers access to the PC game libraries on their TV, allowing them to enjoy their favorite titles on the big screen without dedicated gaming hardware. Imagine a company making the problem and selling the solution. Who would have thought it? Amazing. Nope. Nobody here. All right. PC game libraries and TV, allowing them to enjoy their favorite titles on the big screen without dedicated gaming hardware. Nvidia says that the app will initially be available on select Fire TV sticks, including the Fire Stick 4K Plus second generation and the Fire Stick TV Stick 4K Max second generation. This is slated to roll out later this year in all regions where GeForce Now is accompanied by. Okay. Fire TV sticks are available, giving gamers worldwide a new way to bring PC quality games into your living room. Remember what I also said? The reason that they're putting data caps on the GeForce Now is because they're trying to push it out to millions and millions of other people. Ta-da! Here it is. How did I know this? As a random guy in his house, okay? But yet, because they know what's happening, they know what's coming, and they're like, well, we got to put a data cap on this thing. We need people to get used to that data cap, because why? Because we're going to have a shit ton more people using this device or using this service on a wide spread. So we need a limit so we know how many people are coming in to get the service, to use the cloud gaming, right? Remember, chat, I said cloud gaming will be the main way people play games 6 to 7 years, which we have 5 more years to go. So I'm pretty confident that I'll be there. Okay. GeForce Now on Fire TV will support gamepads and offer familiar interfaces, letting users jump into games with minimal setup. Alongside a Fire TV app, Nvidia also announced a GeForce Now app in Linux. The app will be also compatible with Ubuntu 24.04, the later distros of expected rollout in the beta in early 2026. Expanded controller support and new titles. Additionally, Nvidia announced that flight control support for simulation fans with compatibility for flight sticks and throttle systems for Thrustmaster and Logitech, further expanding the users can experience games in the cloud. The company also revealed that AAA titles ahead of the cloud gaming service, including 007's First Light, Resident Evil Requiem, Crimson Desert, and Active Matter. With NVIDIA GeForce Now joining Amazon Luna, Xbox Cloud Gaming on Fire TV, and platform cloud gaming options are expanding rapidly. Whether you're revisiting old favorites or diving into new releases, GeForce Now and Fire TV will make it easier than ever to enjoy PC titles on a big screen without shelling out the big bucks in the gaming hardware. Absolutely amazing that now we went from nobody being on the cloud, okay? Now we have NVIDIA, we have Amazon, right? We have Xbox, we have PlayStation, right? It's like these companies know where the industry is going because they do. If you just read between the lines and see, all right? I'm not Nostradamus, okay? I'm not Nostradamus, okay? I read between the lines, I see what they don't say, and then make my predictions and make my speculations as you want based on the information that's given out to the public, okay? And what they don't say is what I hear because it makes sense why Game Pass was created. 6 years ago when I said that's their business model, that's where they're going. It makes sense that the cloud gaming is going to be the future because that makes sense from a business standpoint. Why do I want to make plastic boxes with slips inside of them with discs printed on them and ship them all over the country when I can make it digital? And if I can make it digital, then I can make it cloud. It makes way more sense that I can charge people a monthly fee to access their games than to print those discs and make those things. Again, I'm not Nostradamus. I'm not psychic. Okay? I just read what's in front of you. And if you go back and watch my shows, I've been saying this. I've been saying this over and over and over. And now the regular people that have channels much, much bigger than mine are finally talking about this stuff. And now people are hearing it because it's not a person with 800 subscribers talking about it. It's someone with 100,000 subscribers talking about it. It's someone with 1 million subscribers talking about it. And it gets around, okay? But I've been saying it for the entire time. I stick by what I say, and trust me, because that is what's going to happen. Cloud gaming might not take off, but it will be the majority of what it is in a couple years because that is what's happening, because that is what they want to happen. Now, people will be like, well, if we don't want it, then we don't buy it. Sure, but remember, 20% of the population makes 80% of the profits for all businesses, basically, okay? It doesn't matter if it's a movie, okay? Because a movie, when people go watch a blockbuster film, how many people do you think go watch that film as a whole, right? Some of the biggest movies of all time, Avatar, okay, was watched by maybe, I don't know, 50 million people, right? To make $2 billion? What's 50 million people, right? Some people saw it twice, 3 times, okay? This is where people don't understand. If you have the masses, right? Real Fake Wizard brought this up on when we interviewed him, right? He says if a movie gets a bigger percentage, if they get like 15% of the market, like it breaks $1 billion, right? Because you don't need everybody. You just need a small amount of people to make a certain amount of money, right? And Nvidia and GeForce like, well, Fire Stick, Amazon's out there. Amazon's like, sure, we'll take the profit, right? Because you're buying the Amazon stick. You could play Luna if you wanted to, right? You can get the app, just an app, put it on the phone, right? Little dongle, whatever it is. Been saying about this for years. And here it is. Another data point to put on the chart of where cloud gaming is going to go and where the industry is going to go, right? Everyone's like, oh, console wars. And I'm like, well, it's not about that. It's never been about that, right? 250 million people fighting over what plastic box they like. Meanwhile, there's billions of people that have access to the actual internet. But these are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. What do you think about Nvidia GeForce Now coming to Fire TV sticks? Okay, because this is where it starts. Then it gets deals with Samsung. Then it gets deals with LG. Then it gets with Hisense, right? Is that what the other company, right? Microsoft's on all these TVs, right? We're not long now. Sony televisions will have PlayStation Plus built right into them, okay? Just remember, that's going to happen. You hear it here first, okay? Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some other videos. Thanks for watching. Kraken says, I will own nothing, and I'll be happy. Exactly, Kraken. Ray says, PlayStation already has 2,800 cloud games. Xbox only 2K. 3 years ago, used RX 57 XT was $150. Now used 57 XT is still $150. Price to perform capped a year ago. Ray says, I love GeForce Now. Problem is, I have it with that many games are not compatible. Crowded says the GeForce Now thing sounds interesting, but I think I'd rather just pay one time for a Steam machine and get my library on my TV that way. Yeah, which is fine. And as a customer, you should have that right. You should have a right to buy a console if you want to buy a console, right? And this is why people say, well, Xbox is dying and they're not going to make consoles anymore. And they're like, no, we are going to make consoles because there's people that still want to buy a console and buy that disc or download it on the thing, the physical thing, so they have it next to their thing. There's choices, and you have a choice. Do you still want to get a record player? You can still buy a record player. You can still buy records for that record player. It's not the masses, but you could do it because that's what you want, right? Eclipse says, and December was the most revenue Steam has made so far. Oh, yeah, I forgot to bring that up, right? They made like $1.6 billion. You posted that, right? All right, let me find where that is. That's right here. All right, Steam revenue hit a record $1.6 billion in December as Arc Raiders led the way. Okay, December was also a good month for Detroit Become Human, which is just weird. Was that like 8-year-old game? It was on sale for like $4, wasn't it? With the latency on cloud, people won't play. Well, guess what? You don't have to play. Just like the people that don't like small screens, they won't play. Well, guess what? There's millions and millions and millions, hundreds of millions of people that play mobile phone games. Right? Hundreds of millions. Jesse Max says, Nvidia GeForce Now app on your TV. Great news to players who don't have computers. Aku says, the only company not chasing the future is Sony. They pivoted so slow that they think that they're already behind. I don't know. Well, Nintendo's not doing it either, Aku. And it's okay they want to sit on their island. If you want to buy a console, people are still buying consoles. If they make convenience enticing enough, people will switch over. 100%. 100%. Let's read this one real fast. December was also a good month for Detroit Become Human. Okay, what just happened just when you think Steam just hit the pinnacle of platform, reaches another milestone? December saw Valve's storefront generate an unbelievable $1.6 billion in revenue. Not only is it the 22.7% increase compared to a year earlier, but it also accompanied highest grossing month ever, right? December is always a good month for Steam. The annual winter sale is the huge earner, and many gamers wake up on Christmas Day to find that the Steam voucher cards amongst their presents. Okay, Analytics' latest newsletter reports that over 100 million players helped generate a record $1.6 billion in gross revenue for Steam last month. That's over a fifth more than December 2024's figure. And it's higher than December of 2020 when the pandemic drove revenue up to a high $1.4 billion. Alina says also breaks down the games and helped push Steam to hit record revenue high. Unsurprisingly, Arc Raiders led the way. Third-person extraction shooter, one of the best PC games, you should also be playing. It's sold over 7 million copies on Steam since it launched on October 30th. And for those sales came also December 26th alone and recently hit the highest daily active user of 3.2 million people, 52% of whom were playing on Steam, right? So 48%, right? 48% were over on PlayStation and Xbox, right? Or 46%. Between December 21st and January 4th, Arc Raiders and was Steam's top seller with 1.2 million copies sold. Some of the other titles reflected the Steam. Steam was also Quantum Dreams Detroit Become Human was also second with 993,000 units after being discounted to just $4. Co-op climbing game Peak was third, followed by Icarus down to $3. Battlefield 6 30% off at $49. Repo and Slay the Spire, which also discounted the lowest price ever of $2. So there you go. Right. So during Christmas, Battlefield 6 had 706,000 people on Steam. So make this make sense, chat, because there was a report out there that Battlefield sold 10 million copies, right? 10 million copies. This is before Christmas. And then now they have the number between December 21st and January 5th, which is the Christmas time, okay? And now it says that Battlefield 6, and one person reported this, and I didn't believe it, and I still don't believe it. They said Battlefield 6 has 20 million copies sold. If that's true, how come the number didn't rise up at all during Steam, and only 706,000 people? So you're telling me that 706,000 people bought Battlefield 6 on Steam, and 9,400,000 people bought on PlayStation and Xbox? I don't believe it. Especially since it's going down and the reviews are negative and people are less playing, and they're playing other games like Arc Raiders. During the same holiday period, Arc Raiders generated $32 million in revenue and put the second place after Counter-Strike 2, which held the usual number at one position. Valve recently revealed that the best-selling games throughout 2025, it doesn't order the titles, but some of the top games in the Platinum tier also appear are Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, and Repo. Let's see here. Jay Bree says, yep, gave my daughter her annual one Steam gift card and told her, do what you want with it. Ray says, Chad, if you want Steam Machine, I recommend you also buy a Steam credit just so you don't have the problems with payments processors. Remember, the first batch will sell instantly. I just think it's really, I find it humorous now that everyone else is starting to get on board with the cloud stuff. Right? I do. I find it humorous because the people that argued with me that that's not going to happen, this is going to happen, consoles are always going to be around. Consoles are always going to be around, but the majority of it is going to be cloud. Now, I can't tell you if cloud gaming is going to be the majority for the next 10 years. I'm just saying that cloud gaming is going to make a push, and it will be the number one way people play games. If it's through mobile, if it's through computers, if it's through consoles, whatever it is, it's more and more, right? I can't tell you how much more times I play a game where I'm like, I don't really want to install it. I'll play it through the cloud. And you never know. Crowded says, Sony people aren't on board. They're hanging on it for life. Oh, yeah. They're like, no, you can't take it away. Some people don't even realize that they're playing through the cloud already. They just don't realize it, some of them. All right. We got two videos. We got a humanoid one and a CES one. Okay. I want to watch this because this is a 13-minute long video. But I wanted to watch this. We might not watch the whole thing. But I wanted to watch this because fucking robots, man. Robots or humanoids. And I don't understand. I don't understand our obsession, okay, with us wanting to make robots look like humans. Okay? I just don't get it. Like, for instance, if you want to wash a window, why do I want a robot that does this? Why don't I just have a little robot that you just put on the window and it just washes the windows? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want a robot that does the thing. Like, a vacuum's a vacuum. I don't need a robot to hold the vacuum. Just make the vacuum the robot, which they do, like the Roomba, right? It makes sense. All right, let's watch this. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Here we go. Obviously, it's a computer. Your computer right now at home learns because it knows what you're doing. It knows what you like or what feeds you want, or, right? If you're using any AI, it knows exactly what you're doing. Day comes where you're working, you're like, man, what a great day at work. And the robot's like, yeah, it was a tough day. All right, John, I'll see you tomorrow. And you're like, the fuck is going on? Like, he starts complaining. He's like, my robot. Okay. If this wasn't 60 minutes, okay, I would think this is AI. Not AI like robot, like Like, this is just generated and it wasn't real. Look at how he runs. The fact. Did you guys ever watch Exo Squad? The show Exo Squad, where we made Neo Sapiens. Neo Sapiens were minors, right? And they were generically altered in test tubes. They were grown in test tubes to do one purpose, which was to be slaves, basically, to do things that the humans didn't want to do and work in Mars as they mined and stuff like that. But then they had consciousness, and then they started rebelling, and then they became a threat, and then they started trying to take over, right? If you've never seen Exo Squad, go watch it. It's a fantastic cartoon back in the day, right? That's what I feel like is going to happen with the robots. The robots are going to be working up to a certain point until one robot becomes Johnny Five in Short Circuit, and all of a sudden he becomes alive, and then he starts giving an uprise to the rest of the robots.
Actually learn.
Yes, and we found that that's actually one of the most effective way to program robots like that.
Hold on. What did he ask?
This mechanic.
Here's a question for you. What's the stop Meta PC, or not Meta PC, Meta, Facebook, right? Anyone that's using the Meta Quest right now, you don't even know it, right? Anyone that puts on a virtual headset and is being mimic a way they move, or the way you're moving your character in a video game, Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo decide to sell that information, the way your avatar moves, not even in a virtual world, just inside the game. And all that data that's being shown into what this program, the way people react or move inside the games, is just matrixed inside of the robot. So every time you're playing a game, you're actually helping the robots learn and adapt faster, without even knowing you're doing it. You're going to see these, I don't know when, but you will see these things. They already have them in some places, but this will be an everyday thing that you're just walking down the street, and it's just walking down the street. Like, a camera on a pole is different than a moving camera. Yeah, now, once you get past, what is that called? What is that called? Where you get to a certain point, and then they don't need us anymore. What is that called? God, I forget what it's called.
Want them to do that would.
It's like the point of no return, but that's not it. That's not what I'm talking about. It's the precipice. Is that what it is? Yeah, the precipice. That's it, Juby. Right? It's the precipice of, once it hits that point, they don't need us anymore. Right? Singularity. That's it as well.
Spell.
What's the stop? Okay. Like, look at Star Wars with the droidicas, right? And the droids. What's the stop a plane from flying overhead and parachuting out like Red Dawn, robots with weapons or drones with weapons? Do you know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. Sarge says, bro, this is a line by line from Exo Squad. We make them to do backbreaking, say, 50 years from now, right? I won't be here. But 50 years from now, everything's robots. Everything's robots. And all of a sudden, an EMP kind of a dice goes off, and the entire world shuts down because there's no longer robots that can move, no electricity whatsoever. And then the human race that has now had 50 years of sitting on their asses doing nothing now has to do something. What happens then? So there you go. There's that. And from that, I wanted to go watch this, because these are all robots that are being used at CES. Okay. These are all things at CES this year in 2026. And these are all robotic stuff that's happening right now.
Baby T-Rex.
Yes.
So that's what I try to do from Reels game. I try to copy all the images from Facebook.
Looks ugly right now, but I'll tell you, that could be a Kardashian. That could be a Kardashian right now. They get so much Botox, you can't tell the difference.
Oh, look, it's following my face.
Observing. User and Aria Vision present.
All right, I like your haircut. I like your haircut. You're welcome.
Sex bot. That's what these are made for. Sex bot.
I hope they at least got my good side. A quick
Look, it's Mark Zuckerberg. He moves just like him.
reset.
You thought robots don't have to sleep.
Why would a robot have to lay down?
Many hours later.
That's an expensive robot to play ping pong. You can just hit it up against the wall. The fuck is this? Bro. Bro.
Oh.
We are so screwed.
Who's this?
We have Iron Man here. Dude, that is crazy.
Many hours later.
Are those AI? Now we're talking. Now we're talking. A non-humanoid robot cleaning toilets. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. I don't need a robot looking like a fucking human cleaning shit.
수영만 하는 것 같은데?
Even the robot doesn't want to touch the toilet seat.
Thousands of toilets you gotta clean. It's a good idea.
Now, this is good if you're a company that has a robot that you come by someone's business and you're like, they'll clean the toilet. It's a service type of stuff. Who's going to wash the robot? Another robot, of course.
You didn't leave the seat up. That's good.
The consultant says he was way too slow.
Finally, a robot doing something that I hate doing. Cleaning the restroom. Cleaning the bathroom.
Let's be honest, you probably don't clean your bathroom.
Baby T-Rex.
Baby T-Rex.
Your shoulder companion.
Oh, he can ride on your shoulder too.
Yeah.
Does he bite?
A little bit. Careful. It's hurting.
Your baby T-Rex attacked me. That's cool.
Baby T-Rex.
Is she real? I don't even know if she's real.
This is a USB? Just-
Yeah, Type C.
Oh, Type C.
Okay.
And he got one on his shoulder like a parrot.
Yeah, exactly.
Why
Are
have
they
a parrot when
plugged
you can
in?
have a
Or
T-Rex?
They need to have the plug plugged in because they run out of battery so fast. Oh, I see Disney buying this stuff. Disney buying this stuff and putting these other characters like Groot. Like they sell the ones on your shoulders now, but they don't move. I can see them selling stuff like this in the theme parks. Jesus.
This is prototype and iteration would include AI model. So you can talk with it, give you like a
It talks back?
information. Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Knowledge.
Can you say something?
Currently, no. Iteration. I mean, second generation.
Oh, okay, second generation. This is first.
This is the first prototype. Yes. Open. Yeah, you can touch it. Gentle.
Soft,
Soft.
like a snake, like a
Like
baby,
silicone.
like a
Like
baby
skin.
T-Rex. It's a baby.
We actually have more babies.
Oh, they got some in there.
Oh yeah, look at the toys.
No
I can see this
way.
happening. Grow your own dinosaur,
Sleeping in there.
and then it comes to life.
Open the eyes, right?
Triceratops.
Why are we putting clothes? Why are we putting clothes on robots? The hell, man. There was robots when you were a kid, Brain. You just couldn't afford them, just like you can't afford them now. None of us can afford these things. Look at the balance on that thing. It's creepy when they put a smile and stuff on it, man. Look, if this thing can play fetch with me, it's better than my dog.
Good dog.
My dog plays fetch like one time, and then he's like, no, I'm dead. Yeah, because there's no really talking on this, I'm going to speed this up by like... So it's moving 1.75 faster, just to let you guys know.
Many hours later.
Look how many robots they have.
Let's hear some strange noises coming over here. What? Oh, he's so cute though. Hello, hello. Oh, you got a little black one here. Like a penguin almost. Looks like a penguin, kind of.
Why?
Come here, come here.
Now let's do 100 men versus one gorilla. Now let's do 100 robots versus one gorilla.
Come here, little penguin. I want to pet you. I want to hug you. Don't fly away.
What's going on, Michelle?
Look in the camera. Oh, wow. Come
Happy
up
New
close
Year.
and personal. Close and personal. Jimmy, don't leave. The show's not over.
Wow, he cruises. Wow. Oh, wait a minute. He doesn't move that fast. Hold on a second, because I have the played back. I was like, wait a minute, he's moving pretty good. He still moves pretty good.
Oh, this is an ice cream chef.
Well, that's what I want.
He's dispensing it. I need one of these ice cream chefs.
Do I have to tip?
to cook for me.
Would you tip a robot?
Custom ice
if a
cream.
robot?
Straight from the dispenser. Oh, you put a cookie in there. Oh,
Because why does the robot need money?
now we're talking. We got to put a cookie in there. You want it? You don't want it? You're on a diet?
Oh, for God's sakes. Did you just flick me off? Did you just flick me off? They're already turning on us.
Oh, I missed it. That's okay.
I don't tip in self-service. You can go fuck yourself. I'm not tipping you for doing I'm doing the work. Yeah, like see, this is the perfect thing. Like, why make a humanoid robot where you could just make an arm grab the thing? You know what I mean? Like, this is much more efficient to me if you have a bar and this thing's just grabbing the drinks and serving you. You don't need a robot to walk around. Yeah. The vending machine, now your Coke doesn't cost $5. It costs $50. You're going to have to sell a lot of soda to pay off that arm.
This is like a big rock.
Controlling the robot from back here.
Can you imagine the person's like, I don't want to clean my toilets, but I'll clean the toilets if I have a headset on and make the robot do it. Yeah, it makes no sense to me, Krebsy.
Terra.
Oh yeah, that's what I want. I want to go to a blackjack table and play blackjack in fucking slow motion.
Many hours later.
Hit.
We deal a card to the player in the middle.
Oh, what happened? Holy Christ!
So I believe player one got blackjack.
Now I'll deal with
I hit on.
hit or stun them right now.
Speaks into the microphone and she wants a hit. So
The
10.
minimum wage for that is $2,000 just to play blackjack.
I'm dealing myself.
Come.
All right, let's move on. A robot taking a picture of me. Why? Why would I want a robot to take a picture of me when I can just set my phone on a timer and take a picture of me? Like, imagine the guy that pitched this. He was like, we're going to make a robot and he can take pictures of you. First of all, why is the camera built in to his fucking head? Right? Why is the camera his head?
Do you want to take pictures here?
So
It's the slowest picture taker ever. It's like, take the picture? You can take the picture. Take the picture. Take the picture. Why are you taking so long? Take the picture.
robot taking a picture with a Polaroid camera. Fujifilm instant camera.
Oh, amazing.
If you like it, you can stand up here.
Oh, so cool. Does he want a hug?
A selfie, yeah. Grandma, take a selfie.
Oh my God. This thing shouldn't be called Sharpa. It should be called Slotha. It moves like a fucking sloth.
Hey, Jess. I just have
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Sloppa, ayo. There you go. This seems efficient to me. I was like, okay, I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to put this over here. All right. Okay. This seems interesting. Does this make me jump farther? Jump higher? Can I lift more? They already have stuff like this.
Paparazzi. We are the paparazzi.
He's not filming for the robot thing. If this can make you like hike farther and stuff like that, that's interesting.
Hey, buddy. You're versus the Terminator.
He's not moving. Yeah, fold my laundry. What is that?
He's a handyman.
What is that thing? The hell is that thing? That's an abomination. Oh my god, that is creepy as hell. Challenge the robot to tic-tac-toe.
What's up? Game on, my friend. Classic tic-tac-toe duel.
Oh, they have that, Argus. They already have stuff like that. And plus, what's it called? Elon Musk is already working on the nano chip. No, what's his chip called that goes in the brain? Neuralink. Where he literally said recently that the Neuralink chip will give full functionality to people's legs again that can't walk. You don't even need an exosuit. Like, that's insane.
Spark versus my circuit.
I go first. I'm circle.
Me. So make it smooth.
You know where I'm going to go. The worst spot on the...
Whoa, that's
Why wouldn't you go middle?
Play.
Yeah, I got something up my sleeves here. I'm not wearing sleeves, though. Halfway
Okay, let's fast forward here.
And you might prove...
But,
oh, you're done. You're done. Why would you go there? Oh, because he would have won there. Yeah, never mind.
Oh, boy. Oh.
Good vibe in my memory.
I was just kidding. Hello. May I? Oh.
Oh, he's doing that. Okay.
Multimodal biped robot.
What does this do? Why do you need this? What would that do? Now, again, this makes much more sense than the goddamn robot that's making coffee or ice cream, where you can just have an arm do the exact same thing.
Ordered one. Looks like a latte.
Dialing things in. Precision matters.
Why is it dancing? Here's the thing. If I walk into a coffee shop and there's robots there and I just want my coffee, I don't need the robot to be like just make the coffee.
This is art.
I would walk out. I want efficiency. If I wanted this, I go to get it from a human.
Yeah, phones are kept deployed 3 missions in Turkey. Colombia set up the United States. In the US. We started the sales.
Okay, now you can look. Hannah, your coffee is ready.
Obey the machine.
Oh, the machine is the eyes and the brains. That's his arms. Interesting.
Nice choice, Jeff. I'm on it.
Why only 2 arms? Well, I would assume it's because there's only one spigot thing to have the espresso come out. Okay. Is it the last one? Okay. Well, there you go, chat. Oh, you can't find it. Can't find the hole. Oh, there it goes. There you go. Our overlords are coming together nicely. They're all coming together nicely. Soon, every single person will have an Android in their house, and I can't wait for the future for my robot that I buy to be in my spot here doing my podcast for me, and then your robots watching my robot do my podcast. I can't wait. I can't wait for that time. I'm very excited. All right. It's 12:30. I am done for the day. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We'll be back tonight to do the podcast with Sarge, Generation X Gaming, a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. Appreciate it very much. You guys have a great rest of your day, evening, or night, wherever you are, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Yeah, scroll, refresh, repeat. Another face, another voice, another beat. But none of it's real anymore. Welcome to the feed. Yeah. Woke up to a timeline full of ghosts. Fake smiles, fake art, fake quotes. Every thumbnail screaming, look at me. Same words, different fonts, same routine. Bots got opinions, bots got takes. Bots writing songs about heartbreak. Who lived it, who felt pain? Or was it trained on a million names? Keyboard kings with no soul inside. Copy paste, monetize. Original thought on life support. Buried under sponsored lies. They don't eat, they don't sleep, they don't bleed, but they compete. Grinding harder than you and me. 24/7 content machine. AI slop, pour it in a bowl. Feed the masses, numb the soul. Likes go up, truth goes cold. Everybody buying what the algorithm sold. AI slop, sounds just right. Perfect words, no human fight. Made too fast, feels too clean. Empty calories on a glowing screen. Art used to come from scars and sweat. Now it's prompts and presets. Make it viral, make it sad. Make it sound like something we already had. News written by code with no spine. Outrage scheduled right on time. Rage bait cook, served hot. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. Creators drowning in the noise, trying to be heard, fighting bots. While the suits say adapt or die, as they automate the human voice. No risk, no shame. Same face, different name. Flood the net, crash the lane. Call it progress, call it change. AI slop, pour it in the bowl. Feed the masses, numb the soul. Lights go up, truth goes cold. Everybody buying what the algorithm sold. AI slop, day and night. Generated dreams in artificial light. Made too fast, feels obscene. Empty calories on a glowing screen. Yeah, it's convenient. Yeah, it's cheap. Yeah, it talks, but it don't speak. It can mimic, it can steal, but it can't tell you what's real. No childhood, no regret, no fear being misunderstood yet. So when everything sounds perfect, that's when you know it's counterfeit. I'm not scared of tools or tech. I'm scared of what we'll neglect. When speed matters more than voice, and humans stop being the choice. Farce just data remix. Then what happens to the risk? What happens to the mess and flaws that made us feel something at all? AI slop, flood the stream. Synthetic culture, plastic dreams. Scroll so long you forget your name. Chasing numbers in a hollow game. AI slop, yeah, we see the future riding over me. If this is progress, stop the clock. I'd rather feel it than AI slop.